Hello, hello, hello. Hello, Autumn. How are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, everyone. I know it is late. Yes, it is. However, you all know how I operate. I always come up with some randomness here, randomness there. It's always either morning, afternoon, evening, late evening, early morning randomness. And I would be remiss if I did not have this conversation. As you all know, I am Dr. Bianca Miss B. Lee, and one of my, actually, my full time trade right now is cognitive behavioral therapy, family therapy, relationship therapy, spiritual intimacy therapy, all of those things. So I have to, Autumn says she's good. I am wonderful, Autumn. Thank you for asking. So I would be remiss if I did not go into this discussion, y'all, and get it while it's hot. Okay, get it while it's hot. I have other businesses that I do. So one of my businesses is an infused decadent business where I infuse home baked goods. I just literally finished making some banana pudding popcorn, cookies and cream popcorn, strawberry cheesecake popcorn, and the Chicago style mix caramel and cheddar popcorn. So I was in the kitchen all night long, and I said, you know what? While I'm already up and about, let me go ahead and have this conversation. Autumn says that documentary was really deep. Autumn, really deep is like lightly putting it, okay? Cause honey, yes, ma'am. She said, yes, ma'am. Good. Campbell's good. Good. Yes, ma'am. It was so good. It is good. So it's setting right now. And then I've already bagged two of the flavors because they're going out to Ohio. Actually, I have prepared them four different types of the popcorn. They ordered four different types of popcorn, and then I got to send them 24 juices, infused juices. So it's four different flavors, six orders per flavor. And then I have to send them, I make handmade, homemade candies, hard candies, chocolates, soft and hard caramels, and all those things. So they ordered five different flavors of hard candies, 15 each. So, do I have a website? I have a website for my counseling, for my therapy. I have a website for my nonprofit organization. I have a Facebook and Instagram page for the confection business, okay, for the infusion business. So I'll run that information at the end of the conversation because I really want to jump into it right now, okay? So, but stay here because I want to hear your commentation because you have seen it, all right? You've seen the documentary. So we're talking about the Kirk Franklin Father's Day documentary, okay? And I'm going to tackle this on several angles here, okay? I'm going to tackle it on a spiritual angle. I'm going to tackle it on a human angle, and then I'm going to tackle it on a psychological angle, okay? But all in one. So we're not going to take all night because it is early morning, okay? But I do want to tackle it on those different fronts, okay? And I do want you to chime in. I want your feedback. I want you to share your thoughts and things like that. I mean, you don't have to agree, and even if you don't agree, feel free to say why you don't agree. I mean, this is healthy conversation, right? Which is something that I believe this documentary really provoked. It was very provocative in the most amazing way, okay? Number one, I want to start by saying this. Our life is not our own. We may think so. We carry ourselves as if it does, as if, no one is watching us, no one is, but our life, this documentary proved that our life is not our own. One thing that Kirk Franklin did, which he so bravely did, oh my goodness, I commend him for the bravery that it took to publicize this story. My goodness, because here it is. He put himself, he was so vulnerable in this whole thing. He was so fragile in this whole thing. He was so open, butt naked, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically. He was open. I mean, he was open, vulnerable through this entire documentary. And when I tell you, I was here for, listen, I was in empath overload because I felt him completely all the way through. But what's crazy is I felt all parties involved. I felt all parties involved. I did not agree with all parties involved, but the spirit of me, the heart of me, felt all parties involved. You know what I mean? Because everybody, yes, Autumn says, yes, it was very raw emotion, very raw, very raw. I commend him for his bravery and for putting himself out there the way that he did at the cost. Here's the thing. This is how I know it was a cry out. Like it was necessary. This was a moment where it's either I sink or I swim right now. Like right now, I don't want to go forward until this is taken care of, until this is answered, because he in this whole story, in this whole, yes, he was, he created an album from this and things like that. But this story is very real. In fact, the music will be even more relatable because it stems, and the muse of the music was the raw, vulnerable, fragile, very real story. I can guarantee you that watching this documentary, so many people were triggered. So many people resonated with this. So many people felt him 100%. Because it's their story too. It's their story too. But let me tell you something. This is why I said I'm so happy and so proud that he put himself out there to do this. This is why I started it off with saying your life is not your own, because he opened up. Right? He pulled everybody's bandage off of their wound. He pulled everybody's bandage off and he exposed everybody's scars. Whoever has any issues in this same arena, whoever family is covering up stories and got skeletons in the closet and covering up, telling lies and have told lies from past and this and the third. Oh, he opened everybody's wound. So whether you had an issue like that or not, if your family, if you and your family are not sitting around having real conversation about real things that have yet to be discussed or have been brushed under the rug for so many years, or, one of those times where, well, no, we ain't talking about that, or not, we ain't gonna open that up. That's we just leave that alone. Just let that go. Just let it go. Just move on. Autumn said, yes, as they say, ripped it out the plastic, period. Okay. Unfortunately, in our culture, and I say our as, us as African Americans, Black people, indigenous people, oh my word, it is so normal for I don't want to say the sins of our elders, because at that time, it probably wasn't a sin. At that time, it might have been survival for them. So I don't want to look at this story from a judgmental standpoint at all. I don't want to give no judgment, no criticism, nothing to this situation. I just want to talk about the actual factuals. I don't want my opinion in it. Not matter of fact, about 2 hours ago, I was sitting, as I was washing dishes and cleaning up the kitchen area and whatever the case. I sat at my sink and I said, my desire for my life is to not have a critical opinion about anybody's anything. I want to be able to experience people in their truth, whatever their truth is, without having a turned up nose, a turned up mouth, a quick comment, a judgmental tongue, thinking thoughts of why they what's making, I don't know, all of that. I'm over. You know, you get to a point where you get enough of yourself. You understand what I'm saying? And it's not that I'm out here judging or whatever the case, but even if I see somebody's outfit and I take a thought about their outfit, like, I wouldn't have, oh, that's different. I wouldn't have did. It immediately I'm in the wrong. Why? Because their outfit, they put together for themselves. They didn't think about, I wonder what Miss B would think about what I'm about to put on. Because that's none of my business. They did what they wanted to do, how they wanted to do, when they wanted to do it. And that's all that matters. And when I experience them, when I encounter them, I'm taking them in their truth, in their rawness. And that's how I want to breathe in everybody that way. I don't want to add none of my 2 cents to what they got going on, because none of my 2 cents matters to what they got going on. Their truth is their truth. You know why? Because what I do for me. And it ain't up for debate, right? So how is it that when I do what I do for me, it's not up for debate, but then I got so much to say about what somebody else got going on? No, I'm putting myself on notice from now on, right? So I said that to say, I want to speak about this documentary from a space of just complete nucleus, complete neutral state. Speaking of facts, right? What was laid out there? We're going to start with Kirk, okay? Kirk was very vulnerable, you know, yes. Hey, Sean says offering unwarranted opinions is trash. Even if asked, I'm making them feel confident in their own ability. I spare me, period, man. You know, I overhear some people sometimes, you know, the first thing and I think what made me say that and make that decision for myself, is 9 times out of 10, we don't even realize that we're judging. We don't even realize it because we do it so readily. You know, we do it so often, right? So it's become our natural thing to do. And I hate that. Oh my God, I hate that so bad. But what made me even think of that is I was listening to somebody on TikTok. They had a live and they were doing some talking or whatever. And they had music playing in the background. And the song was so raunchy, y'all. That thing was raunchy. You hear me? That thing was raw and uncut. You hear me? So I say, and I'm listening to it, and I was like, ooh, child, listen, if these ears weren't already grown, okay, I'd be like, sheesh, you know, I done been there, done that, okay, but whenever, and I'm a intimacy and sexuality coach, you know what I mean, so I done talked about it, been there, done that already, right? But whenever I have to clutch my own pearls because of the lyrics in the song, I'm like, whoop, that's that thing tough. But I stopped and I said, but what that got to do with you? That man wrote that song exactly how he wanted that song to be written, okay? That man said exactly what he wanted to say in that song. You know what you have a choice in doing? If you don't want to hear that song, change the channel. Ooh, there you go. Real quick, change the channel. If it's a song that, you know what I'm saying, you don't want to hear, switch the station. Easy. Boom. Easy. You don't even have to form a thought. You don't have to have a 20-minute discussion about how raunchy the lyric. Nope. Nope. Just change the station. It's okay. Simple. Right? And so I said from that moment, that I made that decision. So, okay, going back to Kirk. His bravery to expose not just his family's raw story, But his self, man, that man he went all the way back to his younger self, right? And the crazy part is, yes, the trauma occurred when he was young, okay? However, what he proved in this documentary is that he was stunted emotionally, mentally at that young age. His body got older. His physical self was older. You know what I mean? His abilities, his skill. He got married, had kids, the whole 9 yards. But his mental and his emotional was still at that age where the trauma was. And it showed in this documentary. See, everybody's saying the same thing I said. I said the same thing about R. Kelly. Said the same thing about him. His body got older. His age got older. His skill, all of this, and then the third, he lived life. He got married, got a divorce, had kids, blah, 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 blah. But the reason that Rob Kelly can only relate to younger women is because his own sexual trauma was when he was younger. And emotionally and sexually and mentally, he's still young. So it ain't nothing a grown woman can do for that man, because they speaking above his head. Okay. He can only, not the same. I'm not justifying. I promise you I ain't justifying nothing. But you have to look at the psychological situation that's happening behind the scenes. We quick to throw stones, y'all. But that's why I chose the psychology field that I chose, cognitive behavioral therapy, because we can always analyze the action, right? But let's talk about the thought or the reason behind the motivation behind the action. Let's talk about where it stemmed from. I want to get to the root of the problem so that we can eradicate that issue, so that we ain't got to worry about the problem or the action happening again anymore. That's what I do, right? So with Kirk, he proved in this documentary that mentally and emotionally, he was still a little boy. It showed when he interacted with his aunt. It showed when he interacted with his mother. It showed when he interacted, with the man that he found out to be his biological father. It showed because he spoke like a child. He reacted and responded like a child. He was timid. He had anxiety and all of that stuff. He was nervous around the adults, the elders. He's an adult too, but the elders, like a child would be. And my heart went out to him through this entire ordeal. He was the man. He had to be broken. He was broken. He had to come undone. He had to become straight raw and peel back all layers and tell all truth in order to get to the truth. Right? Again, our life is not our own. He publicized this story for a reason, y'all. Not just to tell all, right? Because I'm quite sure with the heart that I saw him display in this documentary, he wasn't maliciously outing his mother. His goal was not to say, I'm about to tell all her business. She wrong for that. She hurt me, so I'm going to hurt her. I'm going to put her out. That was not, I can guarantee you, that was not his mission. Nor was it his mission to put his newfound biological father out there and show him as a deadbeat and how you ain't know it. I can guarantee you that was not his mission. See, this is the thing. Me personally, I'm gonna tell you, a lot of my family, they don't really particularly care for the way that I speak candidly and open. I don't hide nothing. Let me tell you, if I got a booger, I'm gonna tell you, Miss B got a booger. Okay. It is what it is. Do you not have boogers? Oh, okay. So there it is. I don't hide anything And I speak truthfully because I'm human just like you. Matter of fact, the method of my psychology theory or practice that I do is the humanistic practice. It's the humanistic practice. I'm not when I'm dealing with clients, this is not doctor and client and patient. No, this is human to human. We have a real human conversation. In fact, my office is set up like a home because I want you to come in my presence and feel comfortable. I don't want you to come in here and see a desk and a sofa and me sitting with my glasses on the tip of my nose and a clipboard, a notebook, and a pen and my legs crossed asking you what's the problem. No. I want you to have an open conversation, open dialogue with me, like you're talking to your closest friend, so that you can let that wall down and speak, right? Speak. You don't have to put up any guards or whatever the case. Matter of fact, I might cook for you. We're going to brew some tea, coffee, whatever. And we're going to have a good conversation. We're going to get to the root of the issue. That's how I deal. That's the openness that I am. Again, a lot of my family don't really, I don't want to say a lot, but a few of my family members don't particularly care for that because I speak candidly. I have nothing to hide. And in some of the stories that I now use as avenues and conduits to help other people, whether it's publicly or privately, right? They kind of probably get upset sometimes or hurt or a little displaced sometimes because they may be a featured guest in the story, right? Well, I mean, it is what it is. The reason I can talk about it is because I'm free, number one. You know what I'm saying? I'm no longer even, I was raped at 15. I speak about that thing as if I'm talking about going to the mailbox and getting my mail. You know why? Because it no longer taunts me. I'm healed of that, right? So if I can speak of it so freely and so openly, without any type of emotion connected to it anymore, it's because it's over with. It's behind me now, right? I have nothing hidden from you all, myself, and that's the thing too. Kirk owed it to himself to tell his truth. He owed it to himself. He owed it to himself. He owed it to himself to find out at 53 years old. He owed it to himself to find out his truth. This man said he was told by his mother, right, years ago, that another man was his father. And that other man knew the whole time because his mom told that man, the mama told that other man that he was the father, right? And he chose not to be around in Kirk's life. Kirk, and then the mama told Kirk a version of the story about this man, and Kirk felt a pain and a resentment and an anger and a frustration and an annoyance and a hatred for this man. And it was like a year before this man passed away. From what I understand, he passed away in 2020, right? I think it was 2020 or 2017, something like that. He passed away, and about a year before he passed away, Kirk finally, said, I'm gonna let bygones be bygones. I'm gonna be an adult. I'm gonna forgive him. I'm gonna have that raw conversation. We're gonna have a real conversation now about where you been, Negro. Okay, but I'm a choose to forgive him, right? I'm a choose to forgive him because he was dying, and Kurt didn't want the man to go to his grave, with that pressure on him, and Kurt didn't want to have that resentment in his heart, and that man is no longer physically in here to hear his frustration or whatever. So he said, okay, let me go ahead and just dead this. Let me sit and look at the man to man. And let's just have a heart to heart. We're going to cry. We're going to fuss. We might cuss. But at the end, I'm going to forgive him. I'm going to hug it out. And we're going to move on. Sure enough, they did that. Kurt forgave him. The man passed away. Kurt even paid for his funeral arrangements. Right? Sent him off with forgiveness, with love, with grace. Right? Only for 3 years later, to find out that man was not his father, right? So Kurt went through all of that emotional stuff in the first place with a man that he was told was his father by his mother, only to find, crazy part, it wasn't even his mama that told him who his actual father was. It was somebody from a neighborhood church, who had mentioned something. Somebody looked familiar to somebody, and the man Rick is his name. He said, I know Deborah. Deborah is Kirk mama. I know Deborah. We dated back in the day. He said, huh, okay. Sure enough, rumors was spreading that Rick might be Kirk's father. And so Rick talked to a mutual friend of Kirk's and said, you know what, to resolve the situation, I'm going to order a DNA test. I'm going to send my swabs. I'm going to give you my swabs. So he initiated, he said, here's my swabs. Here's my DNA. We're going to order the DNA, and I'm going to allow Kirk to get the results. I want him to get the results so that we can, once and for all, dead the conversation, dead the rumors, right? So they did the DNA. DNA test comes back that this man is 99.99% his father, right? Crazy part is, y'all, this man has lived down the street from Kurt's recording studio his whole life. Down the street from Kurt's recording studio. So had Kurt known that his father was down the street all his life, Kurt said, do you know how long I've wanted to be a father's son? Do you know how long I've gone? Matter of fact, his mama didn't even have him. He was adopted. His mama gave him up. He found his biological mother, years later or whatever, but Kirk was adopted. He was in foster care. So not only did he not have a mama, he didn't have a father either because of his mother. So it is so mind-blowing. And Kurt said he used to get picked on all the time as a child. He used to get bullied. He didn't know where he belonged. He wanted to be accepted by everybody. He always tried to get friends, and nobody wanted to be his friend and all of that stuff. He said it was not until he touched the piano did he start seeing, did people start taking interest in him. He literally said, no one thought or cared about me until I started playing the piano. And then that all of a sudden, everybody's like, oh my God, Kurt, you're so talented. Oh, Kirk, you're so, Kurt. He said, no one thought about me. Nobody cared about, he said, family, friend of folk. Nobody cared about him until he started playing the piano. And now here he is, a superstar, gospel superstar, right? Contemporary gospel superstar. And it's like, everybody just, oh, we always loved you, Kirk. He said it wasn't until he looked his mama and his auntie in their faces and said, y'all didn't care about me until y'all knew I was making it big with this piano. And then all of a sudden, everybody want to be in love with Kirk, right? So he said no one knew that while he was this big superstar, that he was still inside so insecure, so hurt, lacked confidence. So the energy that we saw him perform in, that was what I would call pseudo confidence, false confidence, right? It was a performance. It was his alter ego. It was his cloak of protection. It was who he wished he could be in real life. It was his mask. because the moment he get off that stage, the moment he get off that stage, he becomes that insecure little boy. Okay. Autumn says, I guess his gift made room for him. Shaking my head. Don't try to connect to my gift and not connect with me. That's exactly what he was saying. That's exactly what he was saying. He said, as long as he got money, as long as he got fame, oh, everybody want to be, his road dog. But before that, he said, how is it that a whole family, right? A whole family, mama, daddy, aunties, all of that. How do you lose sight of a baby boy? How do you drop the ball on a baby boy? One baby boy. How do you do that? How's that possible? Where no one checks in on this baby, just everybody, this baby exists, right? All parties, all sides know this baby exists, and yet no one reaches for this baby. No one nurtures, no one tries to hold this baby hand, no one tries to build this baby up, give him a hug. Nobody. He said, how did I get lost? How did I get tossed away? Those are questions that he has had all his life. This man is 53 years old. 53 years. Autumn says the whole family was broken. They even lost sight of themselves and still are. Now, let's get to, I'm going to go to Aunt Sandra, because she's the first person that we encountered on this documentary. Okay. He calls Sandra, his aunt, his mom's sister, on the speakerphone. And she answers, she says, hello. He says, Sandra. She says, who you calling? He says, he gets quiet. Then he says, Aunt Sandra. Okay, that's better. What's going on? Mind you, he admitted that he has not spoken to this lady in years. Okay? In years. And the audacity of her to demand respect when he calls and answers the phone, and she answers the phone. Okay? Aunt said, oh, okay. Yeah. That's better. Oh, okay. And he literally said right after that, he says, he says, I do not appreciate, the way you handling me right now, but I'm gonna let that slide because I got more important matters to address. Right? So yeah, Autumn. He says he didn't like it. He did not like it. He says, I don't appreciate pretty much what you make trying to force me to do, and try to make it seem like we got a relationship like this, but I'm gonna let it slide because I'm calling you for a reason. Okay. I'm calling you to speak to your sister, aka my mother. Okay. And that's the reason, right? So then he calls his mom, okay, and he wants to speak with her. So he wants to meet with the two of them because they seem to be two peas in a pod, right? So he agrees to meet with them, right? As if he owed her. Exactly. And see, here's the thing. And before I even go into this part, I'm gonna continue because there's a point that I want to make about that. When he agrees to meet with his mother and his aunt, he pulls up at the aunt's house because that's where they're meeting. He opens the door. She don't say, oh, hey, nephew, how are you? She don't greet him warmly or nothing. She literally greets him, and I quote, get your ass out that car. Excuse me? Huh? What? Now, see, everything that I just said, I would have said. Excuse me, who are you? Who? Well, let me close this door again and try this again. Because who are you talking to? Who? Who? Okay, I'd have turned into a whole owl. I'm saying he doesn't even call his mother at all, his mom. So why in the world should he call? Exactly. Right? So, especially when you're not acting like one, huh? Especially when you haven't been an unto him. You haven't been an unto him. No respect, but wants to be given respect. Now, I'm glad you stated that because that's my segue. That's the reason why I wanted to touch on that piece right there. The piece about get out the car. And then he says, is Deborah here? He didn't even address that, to her, that disrespect that she gave him. He said, is Deborah here? Well, she's on her way. Did you sign the paper? Did she sign? He even talked to his assistant. Did she sign the paper? Because we're not gonna have this conversation until you sign the paper. She said, I'm gonna do it on the inside. Okay, well, go ahead and get that done. I will, if you don't mind, I'm gonna stay in this car. Because what I'm not gonna do is walk in there and act like we cool. I don't want to put on no farce. I don't want to do no facades right now. So I'm gonna sit in this car. You go ahead and sign the paper, because again, we're not having this conversation until you sign this paper. Right? Same thing for Deborah. Make sure she signed the paper, which I'm quite sure was maybe a waiver for the footage, agreeing to allow their images and their story to be told. NDA, all of those things. I don't blame him. I'd have did it too. Okay, for his own protection, right? So they finally get things done, and he sits with them, and he reveals the DNA test. At first, they both said, the aunt said, this is impossible. This is impossible. This is impossible. You said this is not a kumbaya. Exactly. This is not a kumbaya. Okay. We are not at a family reunion. We are here about more important pressing matters. And nah, this is not that. Okay. Auntie. All right. So he shows them the DNA. He lets them know about all of the situation or whatever. He shows them the DNA. And the aunt says, oh, that's impossible. And then the mama says, it is impossible. I don't agree with this at all. Now, mind you, this is a DNA test result. 99.99% that man's son. Okay? And the mama said, and I quote, on my mother's grave, this is not true. Okay. So you're willing to go that far. Okay. But you know what, though, to be perfectly honest, I have witnessed people swear on their mama's grave, their kids' grave, their husband's and wife's grave, their daddy grave, and still be lying like a Persian rug on the floor. Okay. they couldn't care less about who grave they lied on. Okay. But that woman said, on my mama's grave, this is not true. Autumn said it tripped me out that his mom denied it not once, but twice. Not once, but twice. Okay. So she denied it. And clearly she denied it to save her own face. Okay. To save her own face. This is not true. That man is not your father. The man that I told you was your father is your father. Now, see, what is boiling down to, because the first time when Kirk found out that this man was his father, the first thing he said, my mama lied to me again. My mama lied to me again. 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 He's carried his mother's lies because he was adopted. The only thing, here's the thing, y'all. I need y'all to hear me, man. The only thing that he can go off of is what he was told by his elders. And the natural thing for us to do when we have elders is to do what? To believe what they tell us, because we're not thinking that they're lying to us off the rip. It's not until we find out further truths down the line that they had lied, right? But when they initially told us a version of the story, we believe them. We believe them wholeheartedly because we are automatically not going to think that our elders are going to look us square in the face and lie smack to our eyeballs, okay? Autumn said, let's say she really thought she knew in her heart of hearts that the first guy was his father. Just accept now the truth. Exactly. Exactly. He ain't the pappy. Exactly. Accept the truth now. But she couldn't do it because it would have made her admit her own wrong, do her own, I don't want to say wrong, her own life decisions. Life is good, bad, up, down, left, right, wrong, or right. It doesn't matter. These are her. Kirk had to live the results of his mother's life decisions. Not his own. Not his own. He lived a tumultuous emotional and mental life as a result of his mama's life decisions. My mother and I think it was like last year or maybe a year and a half ago or something like that. We had a spat. Okay, I'm gonna say a spat. We had a spat, and I was talking about how, or we were talking about how something had occurred. I forget what it was. It was so long ago, but something had happened, and it was pretty much talking about something like this, how something that she did or a decision that she made affected us, right? Or affects us or whatever, her kids. And so she said, what I do with my life ain't got nothing to do, didn't affect you. She literally said out of her mouth, what my life didn't affect yours. I said, whoa. I said, how do you know? Exactly. And that is impossible. It is earthly impossible for a parent's life decisions not to affect their child's, period. It's impossible. Autumn said that emotion he displayed when he got that phone call just about brought me to my knees. I'm telling you. But yeah, she said my life didn't affect yours. Yeah, it did. Yes, it did. Absolutely, it did. Every thing that you did, everything that you didn't do, every person that you selected, every person that you didn't select, every person that every way that you didn't heal, every way that you did, good, bad, or ugly, your life affects your children. Good, bad, or ugly. That's why I started this off with, your life is not your own. Trust and believe every single one of your decisions, somebody somewhere is reaping the benefits or the repercussions of your decision. Somebody somewhere. Okay? Autumn said, how can the life that gave me life not affect me? Period. It made no sense. I almost laughed when she said it to me. I'm like, huh? What? This is why even with some of my people that I coach, right, that I counsel, who desire to be parents, and I've said this several times, even on my lives, you have to heal. You have to heal, man. You got to heal before having kids, because if not, your kids will have to heal from having you as a parent. Kirk Franklin is a prime example of that. Actually, we are all prime examples of that, to be honest. He just happened to have a camera crew around him. Hello, somebody. Okay? That's why I said, let's talk about it. That's why I commended him on his bravery for putting his stuff out there front and center, because some of us wouldn't dare, wouldn't dare roll a camera on our family stuff. Some of us wouldn't dare. We don't want to look at it ourselves, let alone roll a camera on it. We in denial right now, let alone roll a camera. We don't want to tell the truth about it, and we in the living room, okay? Just us. Let alone open up a production, right? You gotta be real free. You gotta be real free to put a microscope on your family stuff, okay? Autumn said, no more what happens in this house stays in the house. It should have never been in there. It should have never been that. That's the problem. Because what's happening in the house, staying in the house, but what's happening in the house ain't being let out the house, which is why everybody in the house still suffering from what's happening in the doggone house. And it's happening in the house, but ain't nobody addressing what's happening in the house. It's happening in the house, and it's happening so regularly that now what's happening in the house is seeming like it's normal in the house. But don't nobody want to open that can. Don't nobody want to say, Mama, you wrong. Daddy, you wrong. Everybody's scared of the elders. You understand me? Because we were taught to be afraid. How many times when you were a child did they tell you to be quiet, shut up, go sit down, go over here, speak when spoken to? You got an opinion when I give you an opinion. What you know about love, what you know about being angry. You want to be upset, take your hand off your hip. Take your hand off your imagination. Say something here. Do as I say and not as I do. All of this, these are the things. These are the things. Hello, David. These are the things that we heard repeatedly. Do you not think that you are conditioning your child for adulthood? Some of us right now to this day, we're so forced to be quiet and not have a voice when we were children that today we don't have a voice as an adult. You are not raising children, people. You're not raising children. They're already children. You're raising adults. You're raising somebody's soon-to-be mother. You're raising somebody's possible father. You're raising another citizen in this society, another member of this family. You're raising a human being. Yes, listen, I think if anybody watched this and didn't feel away, then your wood is wet, okay? You are soaked, you are cold. I don't know what's happening to you, okay? You are raising other humans. You're raising other human beings. These children are not to be given you, okay? You were broken. His mother was broken and still is broken. Let me tell you something. Let's move on. Okay, let's move on to his father, Rick. Right? Man, salute to that man. Do you hear me? Because not only was he the initiate of this DNA process, because he was hearing rumors, and he says, let's bring a resolve to this rumor once and for all. I'm giving my DNA swabs. Please give them, pass them along to him, and let's get this. Let's solve that. Let's bring it to a head. Let's confront it. Come on, let's do it. Man, I love it. 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 Come on with the resolution. Let's get to it. He initiated this process. It was him that revealed that he dated the mama back in the day. Okay, David says, seems to be an incredible man. He has missed so much. Let me tell you, when Kirk got those results, and he went to the man's door. That's when he discovered the man had been living down the street from his studio all them years. And Kirk said, I could have been interacting with this man. I could have, oh my goodness. So he finally gets to the door. He's nervous. He's nervous, like that of a child, y'all. I'm telling you, what we witnessed of Kirk in this documentary was Kirk as a child in a grown man's body. His inner child was just, on edge. His inner child was emotional. His inner child was scared. His inner child was angry. His inner child was confused. Every emotion you can think of, his inner child displayed it. Yes, it did. So he stood at the man's door. He rang the doorbell. He was nervous, hands clammy, and everything. He opened the door, and the man opened the door. And his father says, how are you? I'm Rick, whatever his last name was. This told it all for me. When Kirk put his arm out, he said, yes, sir. How are you? My name is Kirk. That's how that moment right there is when I knew, okay, Kirk Franklin, the superstar, has left the building. This is Kirk the boy. This is Kirk the boy. David said many children would have committed suicide. Just imagine that part, David. That part. Autumn said, imagine the man you knew as your dad dead, right? Then you find out the truth. Your father is alive and there is still a chance to connect. That's a roller coaster. It is a roller coaster, to say the least, right? What we witnessed when we saw Kirk put his hand out to his father, and he introduced himself. He says, hello, sir. My name is Kirk. Everybody on the planet know Kirk Franklin, okay? Everybody on the planet, whether you follow gospel or not, everybody on the planet knows Kirk Franklin. But Kirk Franklin, the music superstar, was not at this man's door. Nope. Who was at this man's door is the little boy Kirk that was presented before a man who he now knows as his father. And he was so timid, and he was so, it was almost like he seemed small, in comparison to the man. And it's like, oh my God. That whole thing was just, woo-wee. Oh, it was something. And so they sit, and even in how he was sitting, now see, I told you all, psychology, that's what I do, right? Therapy, that's who I am. So I'm watching his body language as he was sitting on the sofa with his dad. Even his body language, you all see how, just pay attention to how he was sitting on the edge of the sofa, real slumped over, very small, like he was very small in stature, not in height. I'm not talking about his height. Nope. His energy was that of a little boy. He sat like a little boy. He spoke like a little boy. He emoted like that of a little boy. And when he gave his father those results, the first thing this man did was break down and cry. He broke down and cried tears of sadness, and immediately said, not sadness that, oh no, I have a son, what I'm gonna do with this boy. No. Sadness for the heart of his son and the heart of him. He says, oh my God. He said, oh my God, had I known, I would have been much more of a father to you had I known. I'd have been there for you had I known. Oh my God, had I known. His heart went out to his son. Oh my God, 53 years and you did not have me. 53 years I was without you. 53 years you were absent of me. Oh, his heart went out to his son. David said, I had a son that I didn't know existed for 19 years. I felt robbed, but so thankful to God that I still had time. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And congratulations to you and your son for finding each other. Because I do believe, me personally, I believe time is an illusion. Honestly, I believe time is what we make it. I believe whenever things happen, that is the perfect time, right? That's what I believe. That's me personally. Autumn said now he has to also deal with a roller coaster of emotions. He has to now deal with the roller coaster of emotions because, oh my goodness, he has to choose. The father now has to choose to forgive, forgive the mother for not telling him, but here's the thing, go back to the mama. The mother is still in denial. She's still in denial. David said 3 precious grandbabies. That's so awesome. Look at that. That's so awesome. You got it. You got your son and bonus babies. That's amazing. Autumn said, congratulations, David. I'm glad you found out. Yes. Listen, the mom is still in denial. Because it's called cognitive dissonance in psychology, you all. Cognitive dissonance is this. When you are holding on to a truth, right? And you have made this your truth. And then you're presented with the truth. But you deny the truth and maintain your truth, right? Cognitive dissonance. People, it is very possible, listen to me. It is possible to tell yourself a lie for so long that you begin to believe that lie. There are so many people that have lied to themselves for so long, they can take a polygraph test right now and would pass it. All right? Autumn said, and she wonders why Kirk says he can't be around her if she continues this route. Let me tell you. Absolutely. You're welcome, David. Let me tell you something. When he presented this, the father even said, we're going to take a second DNA just to prove to the mama again. Because they didn't have to prove again, but they did it just for her. They didn't have to do it, but they did it for her. Okay? For her. And it read the same thing again. They were all in the same. Now everybody's at the table. Okay? Autumn says, for our benefit, we have to cut off even those that should be closest to us. Let me tell you. Unfortunately, it's those that are closest to you that do the most harm. Because if they were not close to you, we can dismiss it and be like, child, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You're not even important to me right now. So if they weren't important, it wouldn't bother you. It's because they're close to you that it affects you so heavily, right? There's an attachment there. Familiarity breeds attachment. Okay. And so we hold on to the attachment of this person. And sometimes it's very difficult for us to cut off attachments. Very difficult. That attachment becomes your almost like your crutch, so to speak. That attachment becomes, how about this? Prime example, a married couple, right? One partner passes away. The other partner can't see, and they've been together for, yes, Autumn, that's a perfect word. Your pacifier. Your enabler. Okay. The one partner passes away after 30, 40, 50, 60 years of marriage. Obviously, there's an attachment there, right? The one partner passes away, and the other partner finds it very difficult to continue on life after this person has passed. And 2, 3, 4 months later, that other remaining partner passes away from what is known as a broken heart. It's not a broken heart, obviously. It is, they were too attached to their partner, right? That's why I always talk about be connected to your partner. Don't be attached to your partner, because in the event that your partner has to leave, or your partner, or you and your partner divorce, or something happens, your partner dies, whatever the case, you should be able to maneuver forward, still grieving. You can grieve, you can be a human, okay? You can be a human. However, you should still be able to move forward. You should still be able to live in spite of, because once upon a time, guess what? Before you were with this person, you actually lived. And then you became connected to this person. So it's difficult when you're attached to someone to maneuver forward and let the attachment go. Our life, you all, is full of ebbs and flows. It's full of ups and downs. It's full of deaths and births. Our lives, full of deaths and births. And I'm not talking about just physical deaths and births. No. The old me is not who I am today. The old me has died. The new me is here. Even our physical bodies regenerate themselves, right? New skin, our skin peels, revealing new skin. Hair grows, nails, lashes, right? And even our organs regenerate and refresh itself. So I would say give yourself about a year, maybe a year and a half, and you are a totally new being. So who you were last birthday is not who you are this birthday. You are literally a brand new person. Literally. So if you're thinking mentally, emotionally, spiritually, you know what I'm saying, financially, this is why, we grow bored of things and stuff like that, because we're evolving. Life is meant to move forward. It's meant to be lived and moving forward, expanding. You're right? Expanding. Honestly, and this is my belief, I do believe that married couples it is very possible for married couples to be together for a long time and be in love and all of those things a long time. But it is possible if she or one partner is doing their work individually and the other partner is doing their work individually, and together we are benefiting from our individual continued work. Hello, right? I'm pouring into me individually. I'm working on myself individually. I'm healing, growing, expanding, moving, learning, becoming wiser, better, bigger, all of those things individually. And that person their partner is doing the very same thing. And individually, we're expanding and growing. And therefore, the unit benefits from our individual expansion and growth. I believe that's how relationships are able to go the long haul. But I also believe and am an advocate for, I know some religious beliefs are counter this, but I don't care. I am an advocate for packing your bag and getting the HE hockey stick on when that relationship is no longer becoming a source of nourishment for you. Okay? Because in that dynamic, when you first connected with that person, you were an old version of you. Okay? Understand what I'm about to say. When I met my ex-husband, the reason that we connected and bonded, I want y'all to hear me clear. The reason that my ex-husband and I connected and bonded at the moment that we did is because I was at the same place emotionally, mentally, spiritually as he was. We were both broken. We were both, hello, all of that stuff. And what we connected on was what is called a trauma bond. Okay. Our traumas bonded. Hello. And we got together, broken met broken, and we had some broken fun, okay? And we had a broken marriage, and it was just broken, just broken and broken and broken. Until one of us said, something has got to give, and there has to be something better than this, okay? And that one chose to heal instead of being a victim and regurgitating the same woe is me. Oh, they did it, and oh, they hurt me, and oh, I just can't, and oh, No, we decided to take that broken record. Yes, broken loves company. Absolutely. We decided to take that broken record. I decided to take that broken record and break it. Break it once and for all. And no longer regurgitate the things that I was hurting from, and all of those things, no longer giving excuse and reason to the why, people love to say, oh, that's just the way I am. I've had to be this way because such and such. We justify our brokenness. We justify our brokenness. Even Kirk said in his documentary, he was like, my whole life, I was broken. He said, I don't even know me well. I don't know who I am well. That was the realest statement he said that whole documentary. He says, I've lived my whole life broken. As a music superstar, broken. As a husband, broken. As a father, broken. As a son, broken. He says, to the point where I don't even know me well. So right now, Kirk has to reintroduce himself to his new self. To his new, going through the process and journey of healing from this self. He now has to get to know who he is. Because he has some years to learn. He had years to make up to himself. To himself. Because his whole life, as he spoke about, his whole life, he lived it trying to please other people, trying to be accepted, trying to find love, wanting people to love him. Can anybody love me? Somebody just love me, please. Somebody claim me. Somebody call me their own. Somebody take me in. Somebody just grab me. Somebody just love me. And I'm willing to do any and everything for somebody to love me, even if it means compromising my own love for myself. He said, I've been broken my whole life. I don't even know me well. How many of you can say that right now and be honest? Hello? Some of us need to go and get it off your chest. Because what have you been compromising, and what have you become that you only became so that you can get some attention? But that's not who you are. How many of you all don't know who you don't even know where to begin to find who you are? Right? I met my husband at a place where I was broken. That's why I didn't see him in no wrong that he ever did. I didn't see none of his wrong. He was the best thing since sliced bread. Why? Because my eyes were set to brokenness and brokenness only. My eyes hadn't been set to healed yet because I wasn't healed. People only see They only see it from where they are. They're not going to see a situation from where it is. They're going to see it from where they are. And I saw my situation from where I was. From where I was. David said, I thank God for my parents who gave me a wonderful childhood. That is amazing. And I'm going to tell you something. I had a good childhood too. I had a childhood that my parents were able to give me. And as a result of that, I never was without a roof. I was never without a warm bed. I was never without a meal. I was never without clothes on my back. It might not have been what we wanted to wear, what we wanted to eat, what we wanted to live. You understand what I'm saying? But it was provision. And I'm grateful. Okay. We had manners. All right. We might have had for a good period of time. I didn't have my father around, but I did have a male figure and a role model around. Hello. We had our family, who stood in the gap for each other. When my mama had to work, my auntie she'll look in on us, my uncle, and this and that and the third. Trust me, it was a village where we came from. Hello. It was a village. And I'm grateful for my village. Again, no village is without its flaws. None. Okay? Yes, David, we had each other. Absolutely. No village was without its flaws. No village is without its flaws. And every village, every family must have this raw conversation. I don't care how close you were. I don't care how close you are. There are some things that need to be revealed and need to be exposed. I don't care how hard it is. You understand? It wasn't in my marriage. It wasn't until I decided enough was enough. Enough was enough. I literally, on the last day of myself and my husband's being together, I walked outside my door, my home door, and I looked up to the sky and I said, God, I kid you not, I'm about to say it verbatim. Okay. I said, God, I know you to be better than this. I went through a lot in that marriage, y'all. I went through a lot. 9 years, I went through a lot. Okay. I said, I know you to be better than this. I said, I don't know if what I'm about to do I will get in trouble for it, with you or not, but I can't ride this ride anymore. I said, this is where I get off. I said, if what I'm about to do is wrong, then I repent now. Okay. But I got to do it. I can't do it another day. Another day. And I turned around and I went back in the house and I looked my ex-husband square in his face. And I said it just like this. I said, I love you to your core, but I love me more. I said, on our wedding day, we made vows. Love, honor, cherish, protect, secure, respect. I said, and you are the one that I need security from. I said, I'm done with this. I said, I need you gone. I don't want to see your face ever again. I meant what I said. I meant what I said. I meant every word. The very next day, I left and I didn't see his face again after that until 3 years later when we had court. That's when I saw him at court. I kid you not. He moved back to his home state the next day. I stayed at my sister's house that night because I meant what I said. It's not until enough is enough do you decide for your own life. I was connected to that marriage. I was not attached to it, which means that when it's time to move and shift, you gotta be able to move and shift. And you gotta be willing to cut off whoever you need to cut off. Either my godfather told me this years ago, either you are a hindrance or you're a help. If you're a hindrance, you gotta go. I don't care what your last name is and what your DNA is. period. Because I have a mission here in this life, and my mission is not to be connected to your foolishness, period. Nor will I deny my mission because I'm connected to your foolishness, period. Okay? The people that I'm connected to should be a catalyst and a conduit for me to move to my next space and my next place in life. The people that I'm connected to should be an advocate for me growing and moving and expanding and healing and all of those things. If you are not that, I don't care what your DNA is. I don't care what your title is to me. I will cut you off. You better know it. Because my purpose is who I'm loyal to. Myself, my purpose, infinite intelligence, the Almighty, the I am. My source is who I'm loyal to. I'm loyal to the reason I'm breathing right now. That's what I'm loyal to. And I'm going to be there. I'm going to get there, and I'm going to fulfill my call in this life by any means necessary. Now, you are more than welcome to go along with the ride with me. But if you choose not to go, then by all means, I respect your choice. However, respect mine when I make my decision, which is why when Kirk Franklin said to his mother, his biological mother, the woman that pushed him out of her birth canal, she said, what does this mean? Will my denial cause a strain in our relationship? And he said, yes. What did she do right after that? She broke down in tears and made it about her. Tears, manipulation, control. That's exactly what that was. I'm quite sure that those tears are how she got her way years before that too, multiple times. I'm quite sure that it was those tears, those same tears, that same act is how she continued to get her way, or he continued to overlook her stuff many times over. I'm quite sure. That day, enough became enough for him. He set a boundary. That is what we don't do enough of. Set boundaries, and then what? Stick to them. You got to set them and you got to stick to them. You are your own governor. You protect. Let me tell you something. On the inside of you, like we witnessed with Kirk, we witness his emotional self. We witness his mental self. We witness his spiritual self. We witness his inner child. We witness all of that. All of that. All of those multiple selves, you all, are inside of you. There's multiple pockets of you in you. And you overall are the governor. You are the steward of all of your inner yous. All of the inner yous that are inside of you, you are the governor. You are the governor. Yes, David, I'm in Georgia too. Yes, David said, great time. Thank you for sharing. I'm so glad I found you. I'm glad you did too. Go ahead and like and subscribe and follow so you don't miss any other conversation that we have. He said, however, it's 2 a.m. in Atlanta and I have to be at work in a few hours. I'll catch the recording tomorrow. Awesome, because it'll definitely be there for you to watch the remaining of the gathering. And you have a wonderful night's rest and a productive work day tomorrow. Thank you so much. I'm telling you now, you have to set those boundaries because you governing yourself, you protect you because of the purpose that's on you. Sometimes, y'all, let me tell you, and this is the raw truth that a lot of people don't really want to accept this right here. But sometimes your parents were literally, their only job in your life was to bring you here. Okay? Thank you so much, David. Sometimes your parents' only job was to bring you here. Period. Period. Not everybody, but sometimes your parents' only job is to ensure that you are born. Let's look at Moses in the Bible, shall we? Huh? His parents' only job was to ensure that he was born. And for his safety, they gave him away. Had they not given him away, could he have done and fulfilled his mission? Nope. He had to be at the right place at the right time in order to get the right understanding, the right insight, the right upbringing in order to fulfill his call. That neither his mother nor his father had anything to do with it. None of it. Mary, let's talk about it. Since we're in the Bible, let's talk about Mary and Christ. Mary's only job was to bring Christ in this world. Only job. That's it. Once Christ got of age, okay? See, we followed him from birth to what, 8 years old? Or 18 or something like that. And then he disappeared and reemerged at age 33. Some would say that he went and connected and aligned with his higher self, which is how he was able to carry out the things that he was able to carry out, because he was no longer man 100%. He connected his man to his higher spiritual being and was able to then tap into his spiritual abilities and carry them out here in this land. And he was only operating for 3 years. His own Christ's job. And the reason that he was speaking in parables and going from city to city, town to town, to spread the word, to spread the message, is to let the people know, hey, y'all, hey, I'm just coming in town just to show you all that you also are powerful. You also can speak things into existence. You also can call things that be not as though they were. You also can raise the dead, heal the sick. You also can turn water to wine. You also. He literally said, the things that I do shall you do also. And the greater works shall you do, because I'm about to leave here and go back to my Father. Christ's job was to ignite you. His job was to ignite the people and to show them themselves, to remind them of who they are. Stop being below who you are. Right? That was Christ's job, to remind the people and to show them and reveal to them who they are, what they have at the possession of, and how to use it. Whoever had ears, let them hear. Period. That's all he was doing. But see, it was the quote unquote the saints that had a problem with that. The church then is actually the ones who hung him, okay? Because he went against their church rules and their church policies and church, all of that stuff. Not too far off from the day. All right. But okay. All right. We're gonna talk about that. Now, that part, Autumn. Okay, the ain't. All right. With Kirk, he realized something in that moment when he had to put that boundary up with his mother. He was not moved by none of her tears. Nope. I promise you, I can bet every single penny I got that she pulled that same stunt several times before. And it worked. And she thought that breaking down in tears was going to work again. She said, I've been waiting for so long to have a son. And now I still can't have him. How did this become about you, mama? How did your son just found out that a man who you knew existed was his father, not once but twice, okay, with both DNA tests. He tells it to you and you still deny it. Kirk said, we cannot move forward until, he said, I need to hear you say, I need to hear you admit that this is what it is. I can't do that because it's not true. Okay, all right. So then this is where we go from here. We don't. We don't. There's no, he said there will be no hug. There will be no kiss. There will be no gatherings, no transactions. There will be nothing. And he said it in the most respect. He never disrespected his mother. He never, nothing. No. I'm here to tell you too, in that whole encounter, especially with his aunt, it proved to me that a lot of elders, they can't seem to let go of the young version of that family member because they still want to treat them like a child. Kirk said in that car when he pulled up to his aunt's house, he says, the disrespect, he was like, it's crazy that in her talking to me, I feel like I'm 10 years old. I'm 53. He said, and the way she just spoke to me, I feel like I'm 10. She speak to me like I'm 10. It is very difficult for some parents to let go of the young child image of you. Again, attached. It's very difficult for some parents to understand that, you know you, they have the understanding that you're grown, but they don't treat you like you're grown. I tell my mom all the time, I say it is impossible for you to not parent rather. Like you have a hard time understanding that your kids are not kids anymore. It's very difficult. She's aware of our age. Yes, she's aware. But sometimes the response, the tone, all of that is as if she's speaking to some 5-year-olds until we have to. And then when we remind her, I am not a child. You will not be talking to me like that. It goes into a full-out war. Oh, you disrespectful. No, I'm not disrespectful, but I'm setting boundaries and you're going to adhere to those boundaries or we're not going to talk. It's straight like that. Period. My level of boundary, like I got boundaries that I don't play about me. You understand me? I have played about me for far too long over the years of my life. And when I got to the place where I no longer played about me and I stopped expecting people to figure it out and to finally, treat me as I'm supposed to be treated. No. See, the problem is we done made this a democracy and we're giving too much. We're giving too many options to people on whether they want it. Well, maybe, if you want to respect me today, then that would be awesome. But if you don't, I understand. And, it's going to take some time. No, I don't understand nothing. It's respect or we're not talking. Flat out. It's not up for debate. I understood 1,000% that whole conversation that he had with his mother. 1,000%. I can speak with respect, but I promise you, the moment I'm disrespected, you gonna hear about it. For sure. Because I'm not a child. Not at all. Now, we're gonna have an adult conversation in an adult manner. You're speaking to an adult me and not a 5-year-old child that you recall. Nope, we're not doing it. We are not doing it. And much like Kirk, if there's something that needs to be called out, I am the child. that will do that for sure. Because when you get tired of, when you get tired of being told something or dismissed, something is dismissed, and or the truth is not told about this, or you've gotten 57 versions of the same story and none of them are correct and all of this stuff. Oh no. You set boundaries and you call a thing a thing. I am the queen of calling a thing a thing. Promise you. If somebody called my phone and I heard and such told me that, I don't do rumors. When I hear my name and some stuff that somebody done said, I call it out right there. I call the horse. I'm not calling 9/11 people. No. I'm calling the horse that said it out their mouth. For sure. I'm telling you, I love everybody, but I don't care who you are. I'm gonna call you out. You better believe it. You don't like it, don't say it. Don't do it. It's simple. And guess what? I expect to be called out the same way. But because I don't like being the feeling of that, I don't inflict that feeling either. At all. It's a matter of, like Kirk went through, it's a matter of once and for all standing up for self. He got tired of being lied to, tossed around, played with all his life. And he told his aunt and his mother, he says, because you didn't know how to love, I didn't know how to love. His own relationship with his own son was tumultuous because he didn't know how to fix it, because no one taught him how to fix. I had a conversation about a month ago. I did it live where I said to the women, who taught you how to be a woman? Who taught you how to be a woman? And then part two of that question, what were they teaching you? Or what did they teach you? Was it profitable for you? Was it something that you could live with? Let me tell you something. For me, and who taught me how to be a woman, the women in my life taught me how to be a woman, but not directly. I never once had a conversation about what it means to be a girl, what it means to be a teenage girl, what it means to be a young lady, what it means to be a woman. I never had a conversation about what is beauty, what is grace, what is softness for a woman, what is classy, what is sexy, how to embrace classy, how to embrace your sexy. I was never taught and never had a conversation about, sexuality and the beauty of your body parts, and where it wasn't attached to shame and guilt and you know what I'm saying? Because Lord have mercy. It's crazy that a very organ that was given to us by God has a scarlet letter on it when it comes down to certain things, I was never taught the beauty of my feminine parts or the power that I possess in that beauty, in those feminine parts, and how to choose properly, and how to ask myself, how do I feel about this, and how to ask my heart, how do I feel? None of those conversations took place. None. Okay. Even on the male side, I never had a conversation. No one ever talked to me about what it was like to choose. What is it like to choose a proper boy, proper male, grooming me for how to choose and, how to select and how to be chosen. No, never once did I have those conversations. You know how I learned? Trial and error. Also, how I learned? Watching the women in my life go through trial and error. Who taught me how to be a woman? directly and indirectly, the women in my life. And furthermore, in addition to that, TV women, radio and music women, movie women. And so when I went into my marriage, I was a fish out of water. I didn't have a tool the first. I didn't know what I was doing. Thought I did. And when I went into marriage, what did I do? I exemplified the only woman in my family that had a successful marriage. And that was my aunt. The only woman in my family that was on my mom's side that was married, had a successful marriage. And I can see any type of example of what a wife was, because no one taught me how to be a wife. And when I got married, I thought that I had to become my aunt, because that's the only thing that I saw a wife to be. So I stopped being Bianca and I became my aunt. And therein was the problem. Because who is this? Who are you? You ain't the one huh? Why are you acting like this? Well, because that's what a wife is, and that's what a wife's supposed to do, and that's what a wife, because no one told me that it's okay to be yourself as a wife. You just got a title of wife. You can still be yourself. I thought I had to be my aunt, because I thought that is what a wife is. You see what I'm saying? Who taught you how to be a woman? Who taught you how to be a man? Who taught you how to be a mother? Who taught you how to be a father? Who taught you? I'm curious to know his mama's mama. I'm curious to know that story. I'm curious to know his mother's father. I'm curious to know what happened there. I am. I'm also curious to hear from his wife, Kirk's wife, because he's been married to her for many, many years. I am curious to know what she's had to live with and what she's had to court and coach him through, because she was clearly married to a young boy. Okay? A grown man body, but a young boy mentality, emotion. He literally said to his mom and aunt, you all never loved me. You never taught me love. I never knew love. You all never showed me love. I didn't know how to love. So I'm curious to know how he made it through so many years of marriage. What happened? That's why, and if you know his story, he had an addiction to porn once upon a time. And I'm quite sure there was other things, which is totally understandable, because at least in the porn flicks, there's a seemingly some form of love there, seemingly, for production. And he went into his relationships and marriage thinking that that's what love and that's what sex was supposed to be. Because no one sat him down and taught him how to be him, how to be a boy, how to be a teenage boy, how to be a man, how to be a husband, how to be a father. No one taught him. No one loved him enough to do so. This documentary, you all, was very provocative. Very provocative. And I'm going to tell y'all something. If you all are not having conversations as a result of this, I'm talking about real life, let him be the segue. Because even in this, his life is not his own. This right here is an open door for all other families to start exposing the lies that have been told, the hidden truths, opening up those closets where them skeletons come tumbling out, and have the conversations. Yes, there will be tears shed. Yes, it will. Yes, yes, yes. But guess what? There's also healing. There's a cleansing taking place. If you own up to it, if all parties involved say, you know what, man, this is going to be difficult, y'all, but we got to do it. Let's do it, man. Let's do it. Let's do it. Gather up the Kleenex Get the tissue rolls together. Let's come on. Let's do it. Let's go back. Let's start from the beginning and let's work our way to the present. And let's talk about it. I know I said this. I said it was this, but the truth is it was this. And I said it was this because, you know, I didn't want to see your face. I didn't want to feel the guilt. I didn't want to, you know, I didn't want to disappoint you. I don't want to. It's time to have those conversations, y'all. It is time to heal. It is time to heal. The day of the mask and the facade is over. Y'all, ain't you tired? Aren't you tired? Aren't you tired of Maybelline your way through life? Aren't you tired of you know, designer labeling your way through life? Aren't you tired? Because it's a draining process. Kirk Franklin said, I have been unwell all my life. All I know is hurt and pain. I don't know who I am well. And I promise you, I don't even have to take account. I promise you, that rang loudly in the ears of so many people in their own personal life. Kirk is a G for this. He's a real one for this. I love it. I love it. I love it. Not only do I love his story and I love the resilience that he took, I love the stance that he took. I love the connection with his now known father. I love it. I love it. And it even said at the very end during the closing, you know, updates, it said that he's still building a relationship with his father. He healed the damage between he and his own son. They came together. They've forgiven. They're loving on each other. The father is now in touch with the grandkids and all kind of stuff. Listen, man. I believe that whenever things take place, that is the perfect divine time that it was supposed to take place. Right? There's no, man, if y'all would have did this a long time. No. It happened when it was supposed to happen. Whenever it happened, that's when it was supposed to happen. That's the perfect time. And right now, we witnessed the breaking down, you know, the death, the burial, and the resurrection, or the death, burial, and the birth of the new phase and level of Kirk Franklin. I am inclined to say that his music from this point on will not be anything remotely close to what we know his music to be. He done broke into a whole nother realm. Transparency, truth. That's where you get free. In truth. No longer do he have to put on productions. No longer do he have to put on a show. Nope. Now, you're gonna get this truth. Now we're gonna speak clear. We're gonna be raw with it. Let's be honest. Let's try something new for a change. Let's be honest with first ourselves, right? First ourselves, and then the world. And watch and see how many more people will he reach by singing, talking, walking, being, living his truth. I absolutely love it. And I look forward to seeing what comes from this. I look forward to getting to know this new Kirk. I do. I really do. I really, really do. I am anticipating this. I promise you. And I'm anticipating my own newness. I'm anticipating getting to know all of you all in your newness. You know, choose you, man. Choose you. Choose you once and for all. Choose you. Pour into you. Protect you. I say it all the time. I protect me fiercely and savagely. When I tell you, I don't play about me. I do not play about me. I do not play about me. No way, shape, form, or fashion. I don't. I do not. I love me endlessly. I protect me to my core. All parts of me. Do that same thing. Do that same thing for yourself. I promise you, you'll see the difference. There's a freedom there. There's a freedom there. There's a freedom like no other when you choose you. You get to know more about who you are, what you are, how you are. You peeling back the layers you're being introduced to everything about yourself, man. There's a beauty there that you know not of because you're too busy giving everybody else and fulfilling everybody's version of you for them. Either they upgrade their operating system or they gonna be stuck in the past. But it's not my job to convince them of anything pertaining to me. Either they take it or they leave it. Either way, I'm good. I'm good. I promise you I'm good. All right, y'all, watch it. If you have not watched the documentary, watch it. It is called Father's Day. It's on YouTube. It's only about 35 minutes long. It'll be over before you know it, but I'm telling you, it's jammed, packed, full of wisdom and truth and rawness and just, oh God, I love him for that. I love all of them for this because they didn't have to agree to this. And I'm gonna tell you, I really do hope that before the mom leaves this life, leaves this experience, this human experience, I hope she has her truth moment for herself, not for anybody else, for herself. And then out of that comes her reconnecting and her reunification with her son. I really do. And I'm believing that he will absolutely receive her, but only if she can come in her truth. It's not fair for him to put all his truth on the table and she hold on to her lie. Oh no. If we're gonna be in relationship, and I'm laying my truth on this table, doggone it, your truth need to be laying next to mine. Otherwise, we're not having a conversation until you are ready to lay your truth on this table. Okay, you all set your boundaries, man. Set your boundaries. Love you so much that you do that very same thing, man. Take a page out of that book, out of Kirk's book. Okay, we saw that example. We saw the example, and our story may not be as, as dramatic as his was, but you do have a story. You do have a story. If you all need assistance with that, I can absolutely walk with you hand in hand in this process. Trust me, I coach and I counsel people both nationally and internationally on a daily basis. I promise you I do this. I promise you I do. And the one thing that I don't do is tell my client something that I am not doing for my doggone self. You better know it. That's how I know it works, because I do it myself. You understand me? Okay. If you need assistance with that, I promise you I'm here for you. I can be here for you. I can be here for you during your transition, doing your discovery, all of those things. I can be here for you. All right. You can send me an email if you want at info@biancamissblee.com. You can visit my website. You can book a session with me. Okay. Also, wherever you're watching, if you're watching via Facebook, then you can follow me. Make sure you turn on the bell notification. Make sure you hit the follow, you like, and things like that. And so that you don't miss any time that we're together. Okay. Same thing with YouTube. Do that. Turn on the bell notification, like, subscribe, all of those things, and get connected. Okay. We have some real good conversations over here. Get connected. Real conversations over here. For real, for real. Get connected, okay? Alrighty, you all. Listen, that concludes tonight's randomness, okay? And I'm gonna give you back to your night. I know it's almost 3 a.m. on the East Coast, so I'm a late nighter. You know, while the world is sleeping, I tend to do some of my best work. Because it's uninterrupted, and plus I can hear spirit talking. I can hear my own thoughts, and I can hear my own and just go through that process. You know what I mean? And I love it. I absolutely love it. I hear so clear during these hours. All right. But you all get your rest. I love you. I mean it. There's absolutely positively nothing, and I mean nothing that you can do about it. Don't you even try it. Okay. Love you fiercely. Love you savagely. Protect you fiercely. Protect you savagely. Okay. Honor you fiercely. Honor you savagely. If nobody else does, you do it for yourself. All right? Set boundaries for yourself. Guard yourself. All right? Love big, love strong, love full. That's what you owe yourself. You're deserving of it. Give it to yourself, okay? Alrighty, you all. We'll be back here on Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going through the book, The Power, written by Rhonda Byrne. She's the author of The Secret. This is The Power. It's the second book in the Secret series. So join us there, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll see you then, all right? Peace.